I got my iPhone Pro Max about a week ago, and I've been using it, and I waited for it for quite long. I didn't go for the basic iPhone version and the Pro version because they did not have the highest end camera. They did not have the LiDAR, and the battery size was a little bit smaller. So I just waited for the larger Max 6.7 inch screen. And even though I had some concerns about the size because it's 6.7 inches, probably too big, I didn't really like the square size, the square shape, because I think it's not, super comfy to hold a phone like that. But after using it for about a week, I just want to share my experience with you and how I like the phone and is it really worth it or not. So the pros, the things that, I really liked about it so far is that the camera is really, really good. I've been using it, I'm taking it with my hiking trips, and the video are coming out just outstanding. The stabilization is, I think, as good as the Pro version. So I wouldn't really say that, go for the Max version just because it has a better stabilization. But I think that it's pretty good. The video quality and the picture quality just looked amazing. The 2.5x is something that I was looking for. I thought there's going to be a big deal. It is a big deal in a way, but not that much, because you're not going to take a lot of photos with 2.5x. And even if you take videos with that, the quality of that video is not going to match with the regular camera. So if you're really eyeing your, eyeing yourself on the 2.5x zoom, it's something there. You can take a nice pictures, especially when it's daylight, but in low light and stuff, it's not gonna be, those pictures and videos are not gonna be very pleasing. Also about the ultra wide camera, I mean, again, it's good in the light, in the day pictures when there's enough light, but in low light and in night stuff, it's really, those pictures are just gonna be ordinary. They're not gonna be anything special. The other great thing about the iPhone 12 Pro that I read about it from different reviews, especially from MacStack and others, that they said that the reception is really good, and they're already getting signals where they usually did not get signals on their previous phone, including the iPhone 11. So I can actually second that, and I took this on my trip to my hiking trips. I got the reception all the way in my entire trip, and before I could not get I couldn't get the signal. If I used to try to go live on Facebook, I couldn't. The phone would be just thinking, but it wouldn't go live. If I would want to watch YouTube videos, I couldn't because there was no signals. With iPhone Pro, actually, I walked through the entire 12 kilometers track, and I could actually get the signals. I was able to watch the YouTube videos while actually I was hiking. So that was really, really great, and I think that's really something that you can get a lot of productivity out of it, just because of you're getting better signals. And also, for example, if you are stuck in an area where the signal is weak, iPhone is going to be a big saving thing, because you will be able to call somebody to ask for help. So I think that's a really, really big plus, that the signal is really strong. Also, the speed, the data speed that you can get is also really, really good. So in my trip, I checked on the data, and I could actually get decent connection. Even with one bar, I was getting 18 to 20 megabits per second, which is kind of enough to just carry out your communication, and even even a low video with low resolution and voice, you should be able to download and actually view that. So that's the really great part about it. Other than that, it's really fast responsive. So when I would go on the Facebook, and it would just go like click, there's no thinking or anything, and I'm talking about just one bar. So I'm in the hiking area, I want to just share some of the scenery, and I just go live, and you will be live. There wouldn't be thinking or not able to connect, and so I was able to go live in the first time, which was really straight for me, because in the previous phones I would try to go live, and I would just think and think and think. So it's really nice to have something that is able to do what you wanted to do. The other thing that I actually don't like about it is I don't really like the square boxy design. I do think that the curved edges are nice, they're sexier, they're easier to hold, and just because it has boxy size, it's kind of difficult to hold, in my opinion. I know that some reviewers say that it's nice to hold, but in my opinion, no, it's not nicer to hold. It's actually a little bit bulkier because of that. Related to that, it's also just because it's square shaped, it's easier to slip, so I'm always very wary. I have this concern that it might slip out of my hand, so I'm just being extra careful right now. I have ordered the case for it. I haven't put that on yet. That's going to make it a little bit more bulkier, but that's just something that I don't like about it. The other likability point is that the bigger battery, so I'm able to actually use it for the entire day without recharging it, and I think I'm probably getting 6 to 7 hours. So that's really nice about it as well. Also, when I was on the hiking trip and I was just doing various tests. So in between, I just tried for curiosity that I enabled 5G, and I was able to get the 5G signal, and it was just a little bit better, but that did kind of drain out the battery really quick. So by I think in about half an hour or so, I got the low battery warning, which I think the battery came down to 20%. So that's something that if you're using 5G, it's gonna drain the battery really quick, but that's only gonna, you don't really need 5G. I don't buy this phone for 5G because the LTE is as good as 5G. You're gonna get up to 100 megabits per second that I've tested this locally in my area, and so that should not be a problem. The other thing about the LiDAR is that I haven't had. I mean, it's there, but you're not going to use it that much. And I think that it isn't that sophisticated as it should be, because at one instance, I was trying to take a picture of my smartwatch, and I would lit up the screen and I would try to just take the picture of it just to record how many steps I took. And the phone, I couldn't take it because I was trying to focus on it, and even with LiDAR, it wouldn't focus on that phone. So it was a struggle to actually take that picture with no lights on, with no lights except the light from the watch. So that was another thing that I kind of felt that the LiDAR isn't that smart. And also about the night shoots, I think that there's a lot of kind of a little bit of hype about that the night shots comes out a lot better. But if it's low light, it's not going to be worth sharing. It's just going to be a shot, maybe a little bit better than, definitely better than the iPhone 11, but it's still not going to be worth sharing. So really, we are talking about the shots or videos that are worth sharing, and so those two cameras, the telephoto and the extra wide, I mean, they are good. They're very good only in the daylight and when you want to just capture everything. But in low light, their pictures are not worth sharing. The other thing is that you can actually take night shots, and I would recommend actually to buy a stand. I got this stand from a local store for just $4, and it's been really helpful. So with the stand, you would be able to actually take a shot of the sky up to 30 seconds exposure, and in that way you can actually capture stars as well, and it does a really great job. So overall, I was kind of experimenting that if I didn't like the phone, I might just return it, but I think that I'm just gonna keeping it because it's just increases my productivity, and it's just super responsive. And even though the other factor that actually was a factor for me, because I didn't want to carry a heavier phone. This is 228 grams, 228 grams. So I didn't really want to carry it all the time, but just because it has other advantages. So I think I'm just gonna stick with this. And the last biggest, actually one of the biggest advantage of this iPhone Pro Max is the speakers that I didn't talk about. The speakers are just amazing. They're so good that even I would usually get excited to get into my car and listen to the music on my car, but this phone speakers are that good that actually I'm not that excited, to listen on music on my car audios anymore. The first day I was listening to music till 3 a.m. in the morning on the phone, just because they sounded so much better and so sweet. So the speakers are also outstanding. So just because the great speakers, super responsive phone, great reception, better battery life, I might just keep this phone, even though I'm not a fan of a boxy design. And the other thing, actually, the other thing that is kind of a pain right now, which I didn't thought that's going to be a serious thing, but this phone has the Face ID, and I always, other YouTubers talked about this, and I realized that as well, because it's a pain when you are wearing a mask, you cannot unlock this phone. So that's just really, something that you have to punch in your password all the time or remove the mask. So I wish, there was a better solution in that regard. But overall, I think that iPhone Pro Max is a great phone, especially for productivity. So I would keep that phone. Thank you.